I believe within all our lives, we have all gotten an assignment where we get it the day of, either if it was in middle school, high school, or college, where we get today, but it's due next week, and all we think in our heads, wow, I can't wait to have the rest of the week to do nothing and then do it on the last day it's due. But I have a quote right here too from a student, where never do today what you can put off till next week. Me personally, I disagree with this, with whether it's school making plans or getting things done. Through school, I like to, when I get something in my hands, like I can do now, or I could do next week, whether it's due next week or if it's due in 2 weeks, I like to do the day of, so once I have it out of my way, when it's done, then pretty soon I have the rest of the week to relax, and then I have the rest of the week to either go back and redo it, or go back and check out if everything's looking okay, or whether or not I need to redo something or show to the teacher before to make them see, okay, you need to fix this, or you need to do this too. But that's just how I like to do things too. But also too, when you make plans with somebody, I'd rather make plans now instead of okay, hey, let's do something right now, and then pretty soon you're like, oh wait, let's just plan it next week, or let's just make plans starting next week so we can finally go do something too. Where it's either you guys are gonna forget something, or pretty soon those plans are just gonna disappear out of nowhere too, into complete dust. And so pretty soon you're like, oh, didn't we have plans to go do something? You're like, yeah, are we supposed to plan it this week too? You're like, okay, let's just wait maybe next week, or let's try to think of something else to do too. Where you put things off, it's just not good. Where personally, I like to get things done. Whenever I get it in my hands, I like just to get out of the way too. And then also too, with just getting things done, such as work too, I've had many chances too where right now I'm a supervisor at Tilly's, which I had to build up to, and I had to become a lead, and I had to get responsibilities, start teaching people to do things too. But before I became a lead, I was always messing around. I was always just not doing my work too. But they always told me too, you can, if you want, you can put in the papers today, or you can put it into next week or the week after that, and then you can finally become a lead. You can get more money this way, and you can get more responsibilities. And then once you're done with Tilly's, you can start branching yourself out there, because you have supervisor with the title too, which is super sick. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. But I had to learn the hard way too, where I kept just wanting to mess around, and then I kept waiting, until finally one day they told me, it's either this week or it's no week that you have to become a lead too. You have to get the act together, you have to get things done, instead of just messing around with your coworkers too, because if not, we're just gonna look for somebody else too. You've been here for a year and a half, we just want you to do this. And so I just had to get my act together too, and by the time I was ready, it was the next day, and then I had to prove myself for the whole 8 hours. They told me I was ready too, but if I did it before, I could have been a lead way before then. I could have got way more money, and I could have been a supervisor right before, which I think I should have done too. But in conclusion, whether it's schoolwork, whether it's getting things done, whether it's making plans, I believe instead of waiting to put things off till the next week where things are due, to putting things off where you say let's go do something the next week or anything like that, I think we should get it done beforehand, because then we can just relax and not worry about anything else. Thank you.
All right, the visualization at the beginning was okay. The quote was clear. Your point of view was pretty clear. It's strange, though, that your point of view is, you say you kind of believe the opposite is true, and then your second example is all going the exact opposite direction. How you put it off at work. So at school, you're on top of it. At work, you're not on top of it. And I'm not exactly sure what the difference between the two is. I think that might have been something that you could have explored in the presentation. But you've got a little bit of a structure because of those competing examples. One of the things that I think you managed to do is get away with some of the abstract nature of what you're talking about, and a little bit of that inconsistency with the pacing with which you're speaking. You've got a lot of energy, you're going continuously, you're very fluent while you're talking. So even though we might have a little bit of uncertainty about what the point is that you're saying, we're not given an opportunity to worry too much about that, because you just kind of keep control and keep talking. You do still have that tendency to stand as far back as you can from the audience, and that seems a little bit strange, because your vocal presentation sounds like you've got all kinds of confidence, but the visual looks a little bit less certain.